Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show Series. How's everybody doing today? It is nice to see all of your smiley faces. We love it when you're with us, and it is Saturday afternoon at the time of this show. Hope you're having a good day. We toast all of you. We've got a nice cup of coffee in our Kindness Matters mug. That's right. Kindness does matter. So share it with the world. Be kind. Be good to yourself. And have a cup of coffee every once in a while, or tea, whatever your favorite beverage of choice is. Of course, this coffee is not hot because every time I make hot coffee, as you guys know, I always end up putting it down somewhere, get distracted with the busyness of life, and then it becomes cold cup of what was hot coffee. So now it's iced coffee, cold brew. Perfect. I'm all set. Nice to see everybody. We're going to have some fun because we've got an amazing singer, songwriter, actress, and award-winning playwright joining us, as well as vocal coach, director. She and I were just laughing before we decided to go, push that live button and go live on the air. We were chatting about how busy both of us are in our careers and all the different hats that we wear. She's a very busy person. She's been doing this kind of work for years, and she's beloved in the industry. She's going to join us. Sheldon Lubin is going to join us live from New York City in just a moment. We're going to have some music and a great chat, our famous levity and everything else that we do here on the show. First, we always like to say hello in proper style. So, of course, we say hello to everybody. We welcome you to our Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. If this is your first time with us, thanks for being with us on this episode. If you're watching live, thank you very much. We appreciate that dedication to be here with us live. If you're watching this later on the archives, we thank you as well. Be sure and leave a comment on our YouTube channel and give this episode a thumbs up if you enjoy it. We would love that as well. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel. That helps us big time. If you enjoy all these episodes and all this epic entertainment and the poignant moments and all the laughs and the viewer interaction and all the cool things we do here on this special place we call the Jim Masters Show Live, be sure and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click that notification bell as well. So that way there you never miss updates on when we're having our next episodes, our live episodes, our specially produced episodes, our on location episodes, holiday episodes. Boy, we've done it all. Levity episodes where it's the host and the viewers, our levity viewers chatting up a storm about life. We do that as well. And again, give this episode a thumbs up. We would love that on our YouTube channel. All the lovities that are watching around the world from the United States, Canada, and as well as Europe. We love having you here. Asia, Africa, Australia, New Zealand, Iceland as well. We have viewers from Iceland, which is really cool. Sweden, Finland. We're still waiting for somebody from Antarctica. We haven't heard from Antarctica yet. We have heard from Argentina and from Brazil. Matter of fact, our guests tonight, the International Celtic Choir, coming in live from Buenos Aires, Argentina, tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. So thanks for joining us. Hey, during the live show, there's something called Super Chat and Super Emojis. That's brand new. And that's happening during the live chat. That pretty much helps support the series. But it's something fun because when you do a chat and you do the Super Chat, Super Emojis, Super Stickers, or Super Thanks, we actually highlight that comment. It's shown visually and it's in bold colors. That's really nice. And we thank you personally on the air for that. And those of you who have done that over the course of our series, thank you so very, very much. We really appreciate that. So this is your host, Jim Masters, welcoming all of you, saying, hope you're having a good day. Check in with some of our lovelies. Just so you know, Shellen is all into the levity thing. She loves it. She's all about levity. We were just talking about that. She says, oh, Jim, you don't have to tell me about this levity thing. I watch your show. I watched the episode with Catherine Elliott. She's a good friend. I watched these other episodes. I love the show. I'm in. I'm a levity. Yes, she is. And that's why she's here on the show. It's a cool thing. You know, I just accidentally said love levity last year and out came levity. And boy, that was magic. Toby in California says, howdy, Jim. And howdy to you too, Toby. And we love having you here. Alessandra says in North Carolina, Hi, Lovities and Jim. Welcome to Lovity Hall, Shellen. Yes, I agree. Good to see Alessandra. We appreciate that. Crystal Nolan, who is here, and she's watching from Connecticut. She says, hi, Jim and Lovities. Happy Saturday. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Looking forward to an exciting show with amazing music, inspiring conversation, and Lovity. You know what? My hair came out pretty good today. I'm laughing because the days where I spend more time on it, the days where I just flip it to one side and do nothing with it, you know what I mean? I guess that's like life. Sometimes you just got to flip it to one side and just let it happen, because that's what I did about 5 minutes before we went live. I just flipped it to the other side and let it hang. And it's as if I spent 4 hours on it, in a hair salon or something. I tell you, life is interesting, isn't it? Hello, everyone, from Sherry Larson in Kansas. We love it. Sherry is a real. Sherry, you've been sharing this. I love that. I got to point out Sherry here. We got to give some props to Sherry. Sherry's been sharing the links on her Facebook pages and elsewhere, and I really appreciate that. Alessandra has been doing that as well. She's been sharing the episode links on her Facebook, her Twitter, her Instagram. That helps us big time, gang. We would love it if you share these episodes on your social media and spread the word about our show. Joan Santo is here. We love when Joan is here. She says, hi, Jim. Happy Saturday, Lovities, and welcome, Lovity Hall, Shellen. Yeah, I love that. That's a nice welcome. She's here and she's seeing all of this love too. Toby says, howdy, Shellen. Nice to meet you. Love it. Really, really nice. Toby says, nice, groovy shirt. Thank you very much, Toby. I appreciate that. Sherry is welcoming Shellen. We love that, from Kansas. Alessandra says, love the shirt, Jim. Thank you very much, Alessandra. Joseph is here. Joseph, welcome to the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show Series. For those of you watching for the first time, this is a series that isn't just like interviews. We have conversations, and I do this work professionally in television and radio, and have for years. And it's sort of Dick Cavett, Mike Douglas, Merv Griffin, Johnny Carson style, warm and friendly and fun. And then we mix in a modern vibe. So we sort of combine the two worlds together. Joseph, welcome to the show. We would love it if you subscribe to our YouTube channel and tell the world about our series. Let's check in with a few more of our incredible viewers. I'm a host who loves to acknowledge the viewers who are here all the time. June Rachelson Aspa is here. Hi, Shellen, and all you Lovities. I love it. Good to see you, my friend June. Hope you're doing well there in the greater Baltimore, Maryland area. I have shared on my Facebook page and Twitter page. Thank you very much. Juanita is here from South Africa, one of our faithful Lovities as well. Hello, Jim and Lovity Squad. Good to see you, Juanita. Hope all is well there in South Africa. Let's see, a couple more coming in here. And Juanita says, yes, Jim, let your hair hang down, literally. That's what it's doing today. And Linda Odell in Florida, St. Augustine, says, welcome, Shellen. You are a Lovity now. Yes, she's going to be bowled over with all this Lovity. She's not going to know what to do with it, I tell you. Thank you very much, Sherry, for, again, posting and sharing on the social media the links to our show. That helps big time. And tell everybody about our show. Good stuff. Wearing the part different? No, I just flipped the hair to the other side. I just went, let's see, about 5 minutes before we went live. I just went, this isn't working. Darn it. And that was it. Threw the shirt on, and here we are. And sometimes in life, that's the way to do it. Instead of spending an hour fiddling and trying to perfect, you just go, and look what happens. Now, nobody open up any windows. Nobody move. Nobody sneeze, please. It's hanging in. I hope it stays this way for tonight's show when we have the International Celtic Choir. Alejandro is going to be with us from the choir. We've got lots of great music tonight from Buenos Aires. It's going to be terrific. Good afternoon, Mr. Lovity. Good afternoon, Lovities, from Linda Odell as well. So lots of comments coming in. Feel free to comment live. Don't forget to also leave a comment on our YouTube channel. That helps us big time. Let's check in with a few more Ralph Lampkin Jr. is checking in. Good to see you, Ralph. Good afternoon, Jim and Shellen. Have a good show. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Yes, The Eyes of Tammy Faye. We're going to see that movie tomorrow. We have a show tomorrow night with Satomi Hoffman. She's going to be on the show tomorrow, but we're going to go in the afternoon. And if you know, we had Steve Peters on our show this past week. Steve Peters was the reverend that Tammy Faye Baker interviewed in 1985, which was really amazing and groundbreaking because, you know, in the religious community, they didn't really back in the 80s have somebody who was a pastor who was dealing with HIV AIDS on as a guest on a show. And Tammy Faye Baker did. Steve Peters, that pastor, was a guest on the Jim Masters Show Live last week. You can see that episode here on our YouTube channel. We're going to check out The Eyes of Tammy Faye. How many people watched PTL when it was on with Jim and Tammy Faye Baker? A lot of people did. Anne from Southern California checking in. Hello, everyone. Hope you're all having a beautiful day. We sure are. Right now here, we are in the greater New York area, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, tri-state area along the southern New England coast between New York and Boston. And it's 82 degrees, sunny, low humidity. Nice. That's nice. And the birthday's coming up on the 24th. I like this time of the year. I do like fall. Bob is here. Bob, it's nice to see you as well. Looking forward to this episode with Shellen. Bob, I know you're a big supporter of our series as well. We thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you here as well. And let's see if we've missed anybody. I think we got everybody in here. If there's anybody we missed, we'll check you out later. Keep commenting, keep spreading the joy, keep having a good time with us. As I mentioned, we do have a fantastic guest. Now that we've greeted everybody. Yes, the wonderful Sheldon Lubin is here, and she's amazing. And if you know her work, she's been on stage as both a singer and songwriter and actor for years, both in and out of New York City. She and her songs have been featured on all kinds of platforms in New York and really across the country. And in addition to her fantastic performances, in addition to that, she's a wonderful playwright, too, and she's a wonderful director. She's directed numerous plays and musicals, cabaret acts, and productions, workshops, and readings. She also is a vocal and acting coach. She teaches professionals for stage, screen, and readings, recordings, and has taught and performed in a number of colleges and professional and private schools as well. She's a big advocate for women in the arts. We love that. Shellen is co-president of the League of Professional Theater Women and first vice president and past president of the Women in the Arts and Media Coalition, Incorporated, which brings together many unions, guilds, and associations to work for women in the industry, expanding their voice, their vision, and their clout. She's written articles and poems and has Monday morning quotes, teaching artists and library services. And you know, that's just the short list. That's what she does when she's sleeping. Then when she's awake, boom, all bets are off. Now, she's really amazing, and she's a go-getter. She's got her hands in so many incredible things, and we're so honored to have her here on the show. There she is. Let's welcome her live and direct from New York City, the one and only Sheldon Lubin. Shellen, welcome to the show. It's nice to have you with us.
Thank you. Oh my God, I'm feeling all the lovity coming at me. It's amazing.
I tell you, isn't it something? I mean, that was quite a lovely intro.
Wow, you've got just a great group of people. I'm seeing all these comments in the chat and welcomes, and oh, it's so sweet.
Well, it's our pleasure. It's our pleasure, Shellen. You're there in New York City. And how are things going for you today, this Saturday?
Well, things are wild. We are in the middle of, actually, I want to say two things before I get to what we're doing right now. One is it's the hair flip. That's what does it.
The hair flip.
It's the flip. I did that just before we went on too.
You did the flip?
I did the flip.
High five.
So do the flip.
That's
one. And then the other thing is for just a minute, I am now no longer the co-president of the League of Professional Theater Women. My tenure ended beginning of July.
Oh, so just as fresh, hot off the presses then.
Yeah, so I finished my 2-year stint, most of which was during the shutdown. So that was a real challenge. But the organization is in really good shape, and there are great people on the board and great people to carry it on. And I'm still very involved with it. So yeah, so I still work with both the League and the Coalition, but I am no longer co-president, which has freed up a lot of time.
Yeah. To be able to create more art, right?
Yes,
as you do
absolutely.
So beautifully.
I've been writing so much this summer and also rehearsing. So the one of the reasons I wanted to come on right now is because we're doing a concert reading of this musical When Zeta Danced on Eldridge Street, which is based on a book by Elsa Rail, illustrations by Marjorie Priceman. I can even show you the book. And Elsa is one of my dearest friends for so many years, I can't even begin to tell you. But we lost her last December. She died last December. And so unfortunately, she is not here right now. But I wrote the lyrics for this project, and I'm the director. And Matthew Gandolfo wrote the music and is the musical director. And Bob Ader, who came here today, is playing Zeta.
Yes,
so
Bob is wonderful. He was a guest on our show too.
I know. And Hinano Kuzukawa is playing Zizi, this 1935 Jewish girl in the Lower East Side. So
wow, that's fantastic. Sherry Larson gives hearts, and June Rachelson Asper, our dear friend, says, she's a dear friend.
June is my dear friend too.
Yeah, we'll all have to go out to dinner together.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
We'll have to do that and have some fun. So she's saying hello. She says it's a wonderful musical. Bravo as well. Bob saying hi, everybody. I love this lovely family we have here.
Fabulous.
Juanita in South Africa is welcoming you as well. And Alessandra in North Carolina is welcoming you to the lovely family here on the show. Woo woo.
I feel so welcomed. June has been one of the fiercest advocates for this show, as it has been in numerous stages. So we were supposed to be doing it live at the Brotherhood Synagogue on Simchas Torah, which is when the story takes place, with most of the show downstairs in the community room and then going into the sanctuary for the scene that takes place in the sanctuary. But because of the Delta variant, that had to be stopped. The good news is, because we can't do it live, it's going to be recorded. Not my favorite way to do things, but it does mean you all can see it.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's going to be on Zoom on Simchas Torah, which is Tuesday, September 28th at 6 p.m. And then it's going to be on YouTube after that, so you can catch it.
That's fantastic. Now, I told you this before because I've studied voice for years. Speaking voice, your speaking voice does have traces of Barbra Streisand, and I know you've heard that before, or a little Rosalind Kind. Yeah,
my whole life, especially when I get around a table with my relatives.
I mean, gang, chime in here, lovelies. Does she not sound a little bit like Barbra Streisand, Rosalind Kind, just in the vocal tone and articulation and inflection and the colors of the voice? Absolutely, yeah.
Well, my singing voice gets more compared to Carole King and Lauren Nero. Yeah. So
tell us about this incredible musical. Congratulations on this. I know how long have you been working on this?
Oh my God, 6 years.
Wow.
Well, it's actually 2 musicals. The first one we were working on for about 1.5 years, and the story wasn't strong enough. So we set it aside. So this one we've been working on about 4.5 or 5. And this one has a clearer, cleaner story. But when we get this, after we do this reading, I think we're ready to go back and make the first one, which is a brilliant book called What Zizi Saw on Delancey Street. They're both these award-winning children's books. And we're ready to go back and finish that one too. So maybe it'll ultimately be about 7 to 8 years for both of them.
Wow.
Musicals take a long time. It is
Tell us about
amazing.
that process,
I
because the
will.
audience might not realize how much goes
Yeah.
in when they go and they buy the ticket and they sit in the seat and they enjoy, the entertainment value. What has happened all those months and years beforehand to
Yeah.
make the magic, right?
Right. So the first thing is you need, of course, really solid characters that have depth and complexity and a really good plot that has roughly a protagonist and an antagonist, or at least an obstacle. And then you start. The beautiful way of looking at songs in a musical is that you burst into song when it can't be spoken anymore. The emotions are too big or it's too deep inside you. It's not something you would actually say out loud. So you write these songs, and then the balance of the show shifts. And you go, oh, wait a second. If that song is there, that gives too much attention to that character right there. We have to figure out, maybe it has to be a duet. Maybe it has to go right from that into this. And you just keep reworking it until it works as a whole. No one sets out to write a bad musical. And the reality is, there are some very bad musicals, but you don't know until you get all the pieces together and put it up exactly what you've got. It's a very complicated, dense, and then your experience of it, just like a play or a movie or anything else, you experience it in one fell swoop. So then you see, oh, okay, this is what we've got. We just cut a song, which if it's done in the way that we intended, where the audience moves from one area where the rest of this play is being done to the sanctuary, that song is really necessary. But we just realized that for this, it just became a digression, and we just cut a song.
Wow. That's quite a process, really. So how do you know? It's kind of like writing a book, or producing a movie or TV show, whatever, any art form. How do you know when it's done and it's ready for public consumption?
Ready for public consumption and done are two different things.
Yeah,
Yeah, Tennessee Williams, until his death, was sending revisions to published
right,
plays to
right.
his publisher, and they were going, "We're not going to republish this play." So it's never done, because you're always thinking. I find that with my songs too, particularly the ones that I wrote when I was much younger, that when I come back to them and I want to do them again, some of the words need to shift. Some of the ideas maybe even need to shift. I don't look exactly the same way at the world. So that's a really interesting thing. But ready for public consumption is when the story rings and the characters have voice and the audience is carried on a journey. The last about 5 years, I've been in the Playwright Directors Workshop at the Actors Studio, and I'm one of the very few people that's there as both a playwright and a director. I've worked with a number of terrific playwrights, and I've also been developing two of my own plays in the workshop. And what we learn week to week, what we all get, is not that every audience member is right when they say, oh, that doesn't work, but that there's something that you need to adjust because something that you wanted to come forth isn't, or it's coming forth in a way that's not what you wanted an audience to get. So at the same time, I say there's always people who will get everything you do and people who will get nothing you do, and you have to kind of target the whole range in the middle. But absolutely, that feedback from people telling you, I didn't understand why she was so upset right there. Oh, well, if you didn't understand, especially if a few people didn't understand, then we're missing something here. And it may not
Right.
be what you think is missing, but something's missing.
It's really amazing with all art forms how the creator of the art may have something in mind in terms of their vision and their mission for the work, but then people can find all different little nuances that they pull from it that are
Absolutely.
relatable and that they connect with. And sometimes they even see it at a deeper level or just in different tangents that the creator didn't necessarily see with their eye, but it enhances it that it's been received that way, right?
Yes, sometimes, and sometimes it's a contradiction. I just love that you said that, Jim, because most of my writing over the course of my life has been taking a story that we know and trying to take it from the perspective of what we missed. One of my first plays is Waiting, which is the Bible, from the Bible story of Jacob making the agreement with Laban for Rachel's hand in marriage and then being tricked into marrying Leah. But my perspective is that he had the real relationship with Leah. He just couldn't recognize it because he thought Rachel was sent from God and because she was so beautiful. I just finished a couple of years ago a play, The Quality of Respect, which is my take on The Merchant of Venice. I think that I did a lot of research on this one. And Shakespeare lived in a particular time with a particular understanding of Jews and a particular understanding of women. And I wanted to write it from the perspective of maybe this daughter did love her father, and maybe she had conflicted feelings about running away with this man, and what was it like when she actually did? Why did Shylock, is what he is in my play, instead of Shylock, which is what Shakespeare called him? Why does he have such a vengeful heart? Where does that come from? So everything I write is often from taking that perspective that you talk about, but saying, no, it isn't in that work. It's something that's missing, and I want to now write what's missing.
What came first for Shellen? Singing, songwriting, acting, playwriting? What was first in what order for you?
Absolutely acting. From when I was really young. And in fact, I just found on Facebook a group where they were discussing, I swear, not using my name, my performance in The King and I in 4th grade and how brilliant it was. It was hysterical. I'm like, that's what they're talking about? It was very funny to find that. I loved creating a character, taking that moment and having it live in the space. And that's why I love to work live, in the space of the theater, whatever it is, whether it's a tiny room or a huge hall. What I discovered after college, and I did go to college for all three. I went to Bennington College for theater, music, and dance. But what I discovered after college was that there weren't many parts
Look
that
who
were
that
right
is.
for me. That's me way back then, yes. There weren't many parts that were right for me or that I wanted to play for young women who weren't the girlfriend, or the older woman was the mother. We're talking early 1970s here. You know, I graduated college in 74, so mid 70s. And so fairly soon I said, no, I'm going to be a singer-songwriter, because then I get to create my own worlds, and I get to create what the statements are that I'm making. And so I was already a singer, and I was already a songwriter, but I wasn't a great songwriter. I had learned, my music had gotten so much better. I had an incredible mentor, Bill Dixon at Bennington College, who did 2 years of study with me, one-on-one tutorials about the history of the American songbook and jazz song. He called it Black music. And that was amazing, but my lyrics were still weak. I pretty much just put thoughts out there. They didn't have poetry, metaphor, dimension. So
what was the genre or genres that you were focused on? Was it the songbook? Was it jazz? Was it classical? Or
man, it was everything.
It was everything.
Theater, it was theater, pop, jazz, folk rock was what it was sometimes called at the time. Yeah.
Right.
And then, so I moved back to Vermont for a few more years, and I did some intensive work on my own to become a better lyricist. And when I moved back to New York in the late 70s, I considered myself a singer-songwriter. But instead of doing tours or anything like that, I did cabaret. So
yeah,
I didn't know how to sell myself. What can I tell you? So I did the cabaret circuit for a number of years, and then I had 2 kids, and it got harder to do that. I've got 2 grown kids, and
Yeah.
never stopped working, never stopped advocating for other women, never stopped writing, directing. Then I got more into playwriting and into directing as well, directing cabaret, coaching more and more, teaching voice. I have a voice teaching method that's different than anybody's. It's really about how to keep the throat open as you work both the lower and upper registers, so there's no break. And I don't know anyone that does it exactly the way I do it. And so, yeah, in fact, at the beginning of the pandemic, I had just had a surgery, so I just rested for like the first couple of weeks. And then the first thing I started doing was writing a book about my vocal method, a book for Sherry Eaker at the Bistro Awards, where I'm the resident director. I direct the Bistro Awards every year, called the New Cabaret Handbook, which is all archived on the Bistro Awards website, pieces about working in the medium of cabaret. And then working on a play that I just finished, which I'm very excited about. And then this project, which has been amazing.
That's incredible, huh? I mean, all of that. How do you find the time in the day? How do you, and what do you do to find Zen and to be able to balance all of the craziness and all of the passion? Are you able to find a place to meditate, to rest, to reboot?
Absolutely. I do yoga. Now I do it with my sister who lives in Vermont, and it's also time we get to spend together, which is amazing.
You go up to Vermont?
On Zoom.
Oh, really? Wow.
Go on Zoom and we do yoga together. It's so great.
That's fantastic.
That's been a real joy. I go for walks and even hikes up in where we have a house in New Fairfield, Connecticut. There's a lot of great hiking.
Yeah.
We're right by a lake. I go.
Is that Lake Candlewood?
Near Candlewood, but we're on Ball Pond.
Oh, yeah.
So we have the most amazing view in the world because we don't look over Ball Pond. We're at the end of a street on a cliff overlooking Putnam Lake in the hills of Putnam County. It is the most amazing view. And it's due west, and we get sunsets every night.
I bet. Does that inspire does visual beauty inspire your art? I know it does for me.
Absolutely. And in fact, talk about Zen, sitting out on that porch, watching, just there for an hour, watching the sunset.
Yeah.
As the sky turns all these different colors. It's amazing.
That's incredible. And then the singing, like you say, the singing and the songwriting, that's obviously a deep passion for you, isn't it?
Yeah. It's funny because I feel like now, and I'm really old, so I've lived a lot of years.
You're a seasoned veteran.
Exactly. I am a seasoned veteran. And after all these years, I feel like the things that I am the most unique at are the directing and the voice teaching. I think I do them very differently than anyone else does them. I go deeper. Everything that I write and coach and direct is about the complexity of life, things not being black and white, things not being simple, honoring all of the complexities and bringing them into the work. But the thing that is the most meaningful for me is still the songwriting.
Yeah. I mean, how often are you writing? Is it something where you're just inspired and you run, and start writing, get pen to paper and just start writing?
Well, here's another thing that's happened during this pandemic. So a writing partner of June, Rachel Zanalspa, Daniel Nyden, who was
Daniel. I know Daniel. Yeah.
So Daniel was in my play Waiting 40 years ago. He played Jacob in that play. And we've stayed in touch on and off over the years. But in the last couple of years, he has been doing this thing online called the Village Yontif. And it is a small congregation, Friday nights and Saturday mornings, of people wanting to come together it's so funny for me to be doing this because I grew up as a commie atheist Jew from my parents, and but there's something very spiritual and connected and beautiful about it. And so every week I'm writing poems, I'm writing songs. He calls me the resident poet philosopher. And I do parshas, which is the interpretations of the Torah portions for the week, with my skewed bent. Someone else, Nancy Corin from Israel, does a more straight ahead interpretation, and then I come in with my renegade thoughts. And with my songs and with my poems and little scenes, I bring in other actors. Catherine did one of them.
Catherine Elliott.
Catherine Elliott, yes.
Yeah, who was a guest on our show. Yeah.
Yes, we did one for Martin Luther King Day, based on a children's book where it was so, I told you, it's always when I get upset about something or I think something's been missed, where Martin Luther King's mother explained to him why his white friend wouldn't play with him anymore. And it was like the way a white mother would talk to a white kid. It was not. So I wrote this whole new play, this whole little scene, and Catherine Elliott bravely and beautifully got to play the white mother talking to her white child about why she did not want them playing together. And Mary Hodges, who was my co-president for the league last year and is continuing through this year, played the black mother, and her son played Martin Luther King. And we really challenged these people to think, this group, the Village Yontif, to think about how different mothers would speak to their children about the reality of the history of this country.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
It was incredible.
It's funny because it makes me think of something that I've been saying for quite a while now, at least a couple of years. And anytime I'm at a restaurant and you see the salt and you see, I'm very visual and I tend to humanize inanimate objects. I mean, I can humanize a chair.
Anthropomorphizing is what that's called.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's anthropomorphizing.
Finally, I have a label to it. I mean, I know what misophonia is. Not a fan of loud chewing. Stop that chewing over there. But so that's what that is. So at the diner, at the restaurant, it's just something that I noticed the last several years. And I'll be with family and friends or colleagues or people I've just met the first time. And I'll just throw this out and they'll be like, wow. I never thought of it that way. And it's the simple basics of life. You have the white pepper, the white salt, and the black pepper shakers. They're usually these little things that look like people. They have the little silver head, and then they have the shape of the body. And they're always placed right next to each other. They complement each other. They're always together. They're always working to make sure that your meal is seasoned the way you want it to be. The black pepper, the white salt, and they're always there, like in the middle of the table or by the wall, but just right there together, like two friends that go through thick and thin for years. And I just see it. And I said, doesn't that pepper shaker and that salt shaker, don't they look like people? The way they're shaped, they look like people. And one is black pepper and one is white salt. And look how they get along. Look how they need one another and they play off one another and they feed off each other's energy and they complement one another, and how both are equally needed, and how you're using both and thinking nothing of it. Why can't we sort of maybe use that as some sort of an analogy? Because it's something we've seen all our lives ever since we've been around on this earth. The salt shaker, the pepper shaker, like little people right next to each other. I mean, I've even thought of a million ways to play off on that. But have you ever thought of that when you see that little?
I never thought of that with salt and
next
pepper.
time you go in the diner,
image. I will.
You're going to say, hey, look.
Next time I go into a diner, are we really going to say that? Aren't we back to eating outside again?
With the Delta variant. I know.
Oh my God.
How have you been doing with all of that?
Well, as I said, I've been doing a
Your
lot of
mood and
writing.
your passion, has it waned at all, or have you just thrust yourself in?
It did at the beginning,
For
and it
everybody,
does
yeah.
at times.
Yes, right.
And when it overwhelms me, I allow it. And I
Yeah.
just say, okay. And that's actually been true and is often true of artists. That's been true my whole life. That sometimes a wave of hopelessness, helplessness comes over. And now, at least, being the seasoned veteran that I am,
Yes.
I,
You
I
could steal that too if you want.
Okay, I will do that. So I just say, this is what it is, and this is where I am today. And I take a scalding hot bath and I go back to bed. And usually by the next day, I have an enormous amount of buoyancy in me, an enormous amount of hope, an enormous amount of passion for what I do and for affecting people, whether it's on the micro level or the macro level. Whatever I can do to make people, it's funny because it's challenging them, but not challenging them to cause harm, or challenging them actually to make it easier for them to accept the complexities of themselves and their own lives, because people uh, always have a tendency to judge themselves. I just had a voice student the other day who came in. Actually, we worked outside. I was coaching her on a monologue and we worked outside. But she said that she couldn't stand that she had to take a class with kids who were a few years younger than her. And she walks into the class and she's so embarrassed. And oh man, it makes me so sad how people judge themselves and how they let other people judge them. When I was doing a lot of teaching artist work, I used to say, not to kids where I went into the class just once, but to 12 and 13-year-olds where I worked with them over an extended period of weeks. I would at some point say to them, I just want to tell you something. And you're not going to understand it now, maybe, but a number of years from now, you're going to go, oh, that's what that woman was talking about. I say, these years, you will do anything to fit in. And you're going to spend the whole rest of your life trying to get rid of that. You're going to be in therapy when you're 40,
Yeah.
trying to get rid of that need to fit in and be accepted.
Yeah.
So that's my mission.
It's amazing how that works, because it starts with the need to fit in. And then as they age, it's keeping up with the Joneses, which is like,
Which is
that's a
all
lost cause
insane.
too. That's a lost
Oh my
cause,
God, it's
you
all
know?
wasted time and it doesn't
It is,
really
isn't
give
it?
you anything. It doesn't really give you
No,
anything of
no,
meaning or
no.
value in yourself.
And it can get quite expensive keeping up with the Joneses. I mean,
And
if you don't
wasted,
have the
it's
money that the
wasted money.
Joneses have and you're trying to, that's can be,
But even if you do, it's wasted money.
and
It's
energy and
wasted,
time.
yes. And then those
Yes.
people often will sit home alone, miserable in their, in their finery and their, doesn't make you
So
happy.
I'm guessing you don't keep up with the Kardashians?
Not, oh my God, I never even watched it and I couldn't care less. I don't care about keeping up with anyone.
You got to keep up with yourself with the schedule you have.
Well, there is that.
What would you consider the first big break for you in any of these areas? What was that moment of inspiration on your life's journey that was the pivotal thing that really opened up those doors, really thrust you forward in your life?
It didn't get me as far as I would have liked, but I'll tell you a great story. So, when I was, let's see, I was in my senior year of high school. So I was maybe 16, 17. I skipped kindergarten. So I was a year younger than everybody else. That's why I never fit in anyway. And, it wasn't going to happen. But my sister saw an ad, and she was also a singer, but at that time she wasn't a songwriter. She's 4 years older than me. She was in college, and she saw this ad that they were looking for singers for a new movie. and write down 2 songs that you sing. And she wasn't interested because she didn't want to do film. She didn't want to, she was in a whole different kind of hippie existence, but she sent it to me. She thought I might be interested in it. So I wrote down 2 songs that I sang, but then I also wrote underneath on this little coupon that they had in the Village Voice. I wrote down, I also am a songwriter and I wrote my own songs. It's not that they asked for that, which is interesting given the story I'm telling you. So I got a call a couple of weeks later from Milos Forman. Now, you have to know he had just moved here from Czechoslovakia. Nobody knew him. Wasn't days of Google. I couldn't just Google who is this Czechoslovakian.
Days of Google. That sounds like a musical.
And my father was in a panic when he invited me to come. Milos invited me to come to his friend's apartment. And so I could play him some of my songs. He said, only a couple of you wrote that. You wrote your own songs, but I really would love to hear some of your songs. So my father drove me in. I used to go into the city by myself all the time. I did theater workshops. I took dance and acting.
You'd go in from Long Island?
Come in from Valley Stream, which is where I grew up.
Yes, we're both Long Island people.
That's right. But this time my father would not let me come alone. He drove me in. He waited down in the car. And I went up there and Milos let me in. I can still picture him. He was wearing a red and white striped shirt and white jeans. And he said, all right, if I record, I'm not going to do anything with the tape. I just want to be able to go back and listen. And I said, of course. Yeah, sure. What did I know? So he listened. He recorded about 5 of my songs. And he said to me, well, I don't know anything about songwriting, but I think they're great. And he put 2 of them in his first American film called Taking Off. I sang one of them, and the other one is over the closing credits, sung by Karen Klugman. And one of the other unknown songwriters in that movie was Carly Simon.
Wow.
For her first album. And one of the other unknown songwriters in that movie was a woman, it's my favorite song in the movie, was a woman named Bobo Bates, who a year later gave up songwriting and went back into acting and changed her name back to her real name, which was Kathy Bates.
Kathy Bates. Kathy Bates was Bobo Bates. Who knew?
Bobo Bates, and wrote this gorgeous song that was in this movie Taking Off, which you can barely ever see because it has a lot of unknown songwriters. Now, MCA holds my copyright for that, so they can use my stuff anytime, but I think there was some issues about some of the copyright, so it's shown sometimes in art houses and in festivals. It was shown at MoMA a few years ago when they did a Milos Forman retrospective before he died, and he was there that night. But yeah, but that was a pretty amazing experience.
So that was a crucial moment for you, huh?
Yes.
That really started to push things a little bit forward.
Yep.
And notoriety, and that's fantastic.
Notoriety. That's when things are evil.
Yeah, I know.
I said in one of my cabaret acts, and it has come true, in the early 80s, I said, there is no such thing as notoriety anymore. There is only fame. We no longer care about if they're negative. And I went on a whole riff on that. And you know what?
True.
It has completely come true. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about all that?
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. I mean, as much as I don't believe that things are simple, and as much as I don't believe that we should try and fit in with other people, I absolutely believe that there are responsible and irresponsible behaviors. And I believe that people who cause destruction and cause okay, can I get
divisiveness, hatred?
Can I get political, or is that going to be too risky?
However,
I'll be vague.
Okay, yeah. They'll know
So
what you mean.
yeah, well, I mean, talking about that, there's no notoriety. We have some people still at very high levels of government, not counting the one that we just voted out, who have done horrible, horrible things in their life. Doesn't seem to matter.
Some are even celebrated and lifted up and get movie book deals. And I mean, it's an interesting time we're in.
It
During
is
all of this,
absolutely.
what has Shellen learned about herself? This has been a great moment of, with all the horror that's been involved and all the divisiveness in the economy and the pandemic, the health scare and the civil unrest. It's been also a time for us to pause and to learn about ourselves and see what we want to do in our next chapters, and really dig deep and reflect. How have you been doing that? And what are some of those teachable moments that Shellen has learned about herself during all of this?
Well, actually, about oh God, I don't want to say how many years ago. I am up to almost my 1,000th Monday morning quote piece. That's how many Monday mornings I have sat down and written to a subscription list of people, and it's also on Facebook and Instagram. And I take quotes from people, quotes that I agree with, quotes that I disagree with, quotes that I think these two quotes put together bring an interesting issue to light, contradict each other, agree with each other. Oh, that could be any kind of thing. And then I riff. And I have been doing that now for so many years that what I discovered in this pandemic is what it offered me to every Monday morning assess where my heart is, assess where my vision is, assess where I think we are and where I think we're going, and what I want most to share with people. So that has been really profound. And one of the things that I had been saying before the pandemic, and I'm really feeling it even more now, is I want to spend more of my time writing and less of my time running around.
You know, a lot of people have, how appropriate, the siren comes in. That's right. They're doing the running around right now.
That's right. Sorry about
The
that.
No, that's fine. That gives you're in the city. That's part of the
We
flavor.
are.
Now all you need is a Mr. Softy truck below you
Yeah, I
with
mean,
the ice cream.
I'm 23 stories up, so you're not hearing it, the way you
To
would
the
if I-
volume that the people on the first floor are hearing it.
Exactly,
But
exactly.
that a lot of people have been saying that. A lot of people have been saying, you know what, I don't want to run around as much anymore. Life is short, life is precious. I want to stay connected, but I also want to breathe, and I want to enjoy, and I want to savor. And all of that is so important. And I've always been that way in certain areas. I mean, I'm always going and going and
For you,
going.
the beach is that for
But
you.
as much as I go, I need space in between. I'm somebody that when we go on a vacation or we go to a party, a gathering, whatever the event is, I'm the one in the car that's reliving it and reflecting on it while everybody else is saying it's over, we did it, we're done, we're moving on to the next thing. I'm like, no, let's talk about what we just experienced. What did you feel about that? That was monumental. We climbed that mountain, we did that thing. If you're just going to keep doing it and doing it and doing it and not stopping and pausing and appreciating and savoring it and learning from it and relishing in it, but that is the point of just going to the next. I've always, whenever I've gone to the next, I've needed to have time to savor in what we just experienced. That's for me. I always like to,
Fabulous.
I'm somebody who I like to feel. I'm a why person, and I like to feel things and events and experiences and people and energy and all that. So for me, I'll even sometimes be in situations where like, shh, slow down, hang on. did you see what just happened? Isn't that like, is there any sort of a, let that sink in, that was incredible. Let that sink in and see how it enhances your thoughts or your life, your vision, whatever, makes you feel better, inspires you. And now let's jump to the next thing. And, you know, sometimes you do feel like you're rowing in a canoe in the wrong direction, but.
But when you take that moment of reassessment, that's when you recognize that.
Yes, right, exactly. And build on it too. You build on it, because I see everything as links. Every person you meet, every experience you have, everything you see and say and do, taste and smell is all linked together. It's all supposed to happen. It's all part of all of it. You know, us chatting today was supposed to happen. It was not haphazard. It was supposed to happen. You know, I really feel that way, that these things and now my life and hopefully yours has been enhanced through the conversation that we're having.
Absolutely.
And that's how I look at everything. Everything is like a link. It's like a, you know, a little peg you're putting into the, you know, board or whatever. It's all part of a chain, like we're on this train together on the tracks. That's how I think about everything. But
Nice.
who am I?
Nice. You're Jim Masters. That's who you are.
We have a clip here that we want to share again.
Yeah.
Tell us again about, to refresh those who are joining late, about the musical. We have a little clip here.
So,
Very
awesome.
exciting.
Yeah, so Bob is in this clip, and
Bob Ader. Okay,
yeah,
great.
he's going to be in this clip. So this is a little promo piece that was made from our rehearsal the other day. We had a 1 full day rehearsal. The audio from it is actually the recordings that we did for the actors to learn the song. So it's not these actors, it's me singing and Matthew Gandolfo, the composer, singing, and this wonderful young woman who did ZC for us a couple of years ago, Eva Hasenitz, is singing ZC. But the people that you're seeing are the people who are going to be in that reading that's going to be on Zoom Tuesday night, September 28th.
Tell us again, for those that joined us late, what the musical is about.
Right. So it's called When Zeta Danced on Eldridge Street. And actually, I didn't tell you before. So it's about a girl. She is lives in an immigrant family in 1935 on the Lower East Side, a Jewish family. And she's very inquisitive, and she wants to know things. And she's very, very, very scared of her very stern and difficult Zeta, which means grandfather in Yiddish. And so because her mother goes to the hospital to have a baby, she's staying with Baba and Zeta, and she is forced to go to temple with Zeta on Simchas Torah, when the two of them have their lives changed forever by what they recognize in each other that they never have before.
Wow, that sounds riveting. Oof, that's going to be amazing. Boy. All right. Yeah, we're going to take a look at the clip here and enjoy, everybody. And Bob chimed in. He goes, I hope I don't suck.
He's wonderful. He's wonderful in the show.
Bob, you're okay. You're okay. Here's that clip, gang. Enjoy. And then we'll be back with our special guest on the Jim Masters Show live, Sheldon Lubin, live from New York City.
The time, 1935. From Shemini Atzeret to Simchas Torah. The place, the Lower East Side of Manhattan, New York City, New York.
You think I can handle 3 shots up to the bima?
It makes me a hell of a hurt. Think about it.
What if I don't want to think about it?
I'm just saying. Think about it.
I'm afraid of Zeta. When he glares at me, I cannot think. My tongue goes numb, my spirit sink. My brain is nowhere to be found.
Sunday is Sukkot, Monday is Sukkot, Tuesday and Wednesday Sukkot, Thursday and Friday Sukkot, Saturday Shabbos not done yet. It's Shemini Atzeret, Sunday, Sunday, taking care of all you love, all that is yours. They call it women's work, these daily chores.
Very cool, huh?
Nice.
And again, this has been truly a labor of love, hasn't it?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Ah,
I mean, Elsa, who wrote the book, as I told you, died last December. So it's
yeah,
been really, it's also been a labor of love as a testament to her.
yeah. It's I tell you. And so you're all excited about it, and
Very
again,
excited.
yeah. Um, Is there an overall message that you have? Is there something that you hope people are left with when they watch this and they feel this?
Yes. Anybody who you think you know because of the role they play in the world or how they present themselves in the world, you don't know them. There's always so much more. One of my favorite lyrics that I wrote in the show is this song, Timis. Timis is a pudding of apricots and prunes and pears, sometimes carrots, sometimes even meat. So it's like a dense puddingy stew. And Bubba sings, every single day is Timis. And it's a whole song about how everyone you know is Timis and everyone you love is Timis. And this is how we get through life. That is ultimately, I think, the message. And also the message, because it's the discovery of Zeta, that ZC is capable of things that he never thought a girl child would be capable of, and ZC, that Zeta was capable of a caring for her and affection that she thought he was not capable of.
That is beautiful. That is really beautiful. We have a song here I think we can share. This one I think this is the two of you singing, I believe. This is Afraid, right?
I'm Afraid of Zeta.
Yes.
So this has a lot of people singing. That's Ava Hosenitz.
Oh, great.
And Matthew and me and my daughter Zija.
Oh, wow.
We're all in there.
That is awesome. Tell us a little bit about the song.
So this is the opening number of the show. This is where we're introducing the cast, the moment, the storyline, ZC's quandary, why she's afraid of Zeta, and why she doesn't want to go stay there when her mother goes to the hospital, even though her mom and dad are telling her she has to.
All right. Here it is, gang. Enjoy.
Going to dinner at Zeta and Bubba's. No one can cook like my Bubba can cook. So I should be happy, but I am not. It's Friday night Sabbath at Zeta and Bubba's. There's not very much that my Bubba, my grandmother, hasn't got.
There's candles and linen
And stories, and yes, the remembery's drawn.
If there's time to look,
And yet there's an awful pain in my gut.
the dishes will sparkle, the silver will glisten too.
so much to see and eat, so much to listen to.
So it should be my absolute favorite night of the week, almost every week.
Casey,
But
shush too.
I'm afraid of Zeta. Cannot put two words together when Zeta is around. I'm afraid of Zeta. When he glares at me, I cannot think. My tongue goes numb, my spirit sink. My brain is nowhere to be found. I want to ask questions, get answers and growl. But Zeta just yells at me, no.
No.
That's all he says every time. That's all the reasons that I'm afraid of Zeta. For dinner. Just for dinner, right?
Just for dinner tonight, yes. But soon you'll be staying at Zeta and Baba's while Mama's in hospital having the baby. You should be excited.
But I am not. Yes, I could be happy at Zeta and Bubba's. You want all the reasons I treasure my grandmother. There's a lot. She's funny
And patient.
And always has time and a hug.
Not just a hug, the greatest hug, maybe. Yet still that pain, no, that torturous agony in my gut. The bed will be soft and the food be delicious too. Yes, I know I'm being quite repetitious too, 'cause I'm so apprehensive and nervous to say it, to be there, because you know what? I'm afraid of Zeta. Cannot put two words together when Zeta is around. I'm afraid of Zeta. When he glares at me, I cannot think. My tongue goes numb, my spirit sink. My brain is nowhere to be found. I want to ask questions like what makes a plant bloom and what makes it wilt? Get answers and grow, and when they're all done building, why not call it a built? But Zeta just yells at me no.
No, concentrate, you see. Children should listen. Don't interrupt, or you'll never learn anything. Don't make me tell you again.
That's all he says every time. That's all the reasons that I'm afraid of Zeta.
Baruch sich, genug scheuing.
He's tall and he's lean and unquestionably mean.
He does not like children at all. Thinks they make noise and dirt.
So he's gruff and he's curt.
And he makes us feel inordinately small.
And just as I told you, say one word, Zeta will scold you.
Sometimes I think I shouldn't stay quiet. I should ask him my questions. Go on now, just try it. But then I stop myself right there with an abominable scare. I don't dare.
Easy, please, shut down. Children must listen and should always sit still.
I'm afraid of Zeta.
Be still.
Cannot
I
put
can
two
put
words
together
together
when
when
you're
Zeta
about
is
down, John. And let me
around.
be. You just let me pray.
I'm afraid
Shut
of Zeta.
away.
When he glares
I
at me, I
can't
cannot think.
think.
My tongue goes numb, my
Go
spirit
away. See,
sinks.
let me pray.
My
Have you no
brain is
brain?
nowhere to
You
be
don't listen.
Mm.
It stopped.
So it sort of just stopped on its own there.
Weird.
Yeah.
in
MP3,
the middle of the counterpoint, but that's
Yeah,
okay. You got the
it's
idea of it.
MP3s can be funny. Let's see if we
Yes,
can.
they can.
Yeah. I don't know if we can
Okay.
forward it.
Don't worry
Boom,
about
boom,
it.
boom. Yeah. They just sort of boom.
It stopped. Okay.
That's a
Well,
little
you
bit
got
of a
the idea. That was
Well,
most of it.
well, that's a little bit of a tease. Now they have to watch it.
That's right. And then they'll get to hear Bob Ader and Hinano Kuzukawa do it.
That's fantastic. That's really
Mhm.
great. That's a terrific song as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is going to be something, huh? It's going to be
Yeah,
really
I
special.
think so. I love writing with lyricists. Sometimes I'll write with lyricists. I love writing with lyricists who make me a better composer, and I love writing with composers who make me a better lyricist. And that has been a golden combination. I really feel like I do some of my best writing with him.
That's fantastic. That's great stuff. I want to show some amazing photos that we have here through memory lane.
Okay.
I am Ralph Edwards, and this is your life. Well, this is actually cool. We can start with this.
Oh,
What was
so that's-
happening there?
So one of my last activities as the co-president of the League of Professional Theater Women, was hosting the Theater Women Awards this spring. So this is spring of 2021. And our Lifetime Achievement Award winner was Estelle Parsons, who you see up in the corner. And there's my co-president, Mary Hodges, and next to her is Katrine, who is now her co-president. And these were all the people who won awards or gave awards, and our stage managers as well, who were absolutely awesome.
That is fantastic. It takes a village, right? It takes a
Oh
village.
my God, yes. And Megan Finn, who you saw at the very bottom, was the only one who actually had people in person celebrating with her.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know.
Non-family people.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So this was also a league event. This was last fall. We give the League of Professional Theater Women Rachel Crothers Leadership Award. And the one last fall was given to the absolutely amazing Tanya Pinkins. And it was an incredible event. And so this is me and Mary and Tanya, just chatting at the event.
That's great. Great. It's great to be surrounded by people who get it, who really are passionate. I love this.
Oh my God. So this is Stella Berg, who actually is Catherine Elliott's producing partner. So they did a number of shows together, just started over the pandemic doing mosaics. And she agreed to do this mosaic of me. This was a TikTok that I had made. She grabbed one of the shots of me singing and made this mosaic. Isn't that cool?
And it's absolutely cool. Now, did you ever think back years ago that you'd be saying a TikTok that you made?
No, never. In fact, I only ever performed live. I never even really recorded. That's crazy. Yeah, and absolutely
beautiful.
notice all the current pictures that you're seeing are on Zoom. Oh, this is back in the day.
Yeah.
So this is me playing at the grand finale. I don't know if you remember that club. It was an incredible club on West 70th Street, which is like right near where I am right here. It's like a block away. I passed the spot, but it's not a nightclub anymore. And it was one of my favorite places ever to play. Ralph Lemkin played there as well. And back in the day when I think I was his first voice teacher in the city, and he did some of my songs. I mean, this is so many years ago. But anyway, this is me singing, a picture taken by Gary Heller. That's always been one of my favorites. Yeah.
It's a terrific shot.
Oh, this was in a movie, a web series.
This is the actress part of Shellen now.
Yes. So this is in a web series called High Falls that was made by Amanda Cole. And Retanya Alda is the other actor who's, you probably, if you Google her or you look her up on IMDb, you know her. She's done a lot of stuff, and I love doing this scene with her. We had a lot of fun. We're smelling something bad. So this was the first project I ever did with Matt. So Matthew Gandolfo, who you saw in the promo video, is also the like in shadow, the face on the side, right? And Cynthia Enfield is the other. They're the two faces on the side. The man in the center, Robert John Cook, we also lost over this pandemic. But this was a piece that we developed over a few years. It was really incredible, where Matt and Cynthia played all of the men and women in Robert's life as he was coming to terms with his divorce. And we used some of my songs and some elaborate arrangements where it was pieces of songs threaded together, and then some other songs as well in these gorgeous 3-part arrangements. I had so much fun doing the vocal arranging and the and that weaving together of songs for this show. And it was done at Don't Tell Mama got a number of times over a few years as we were developing it. And people would come to it. It was so interesting. And they would say afterwards, this helped me come to terms with my divorce.
Wow. That's very special. Again, sometimes you don't realize when, you're impacting people through the work in ways that go beyond what the initial thought process was, which is
Absolutely.
the magic of it all.
Yeah, and that's me and Mary at the Theater Women Awards. That's the same night as the one that you showed with all of us backstage, as it were, the backstage Zoom room.
Yeah.
And this was, we did a panel with Year of the Stage Manager. So these are 3 amazing stage managers. And we were talking with the members of the League of Professional Theater Women and anybody else who wanted to come, people from Equity, people from different walks of life, and people from the Women in the Arts and Media Coalition mailing list about why you need a stage manager on Zoom. So many people were doing things on Zoom earlier in the pandemic, and they thought they could just do them. And they didn't realize how critical it was to have somebody who knows what they're doing, putting it all together. So that's what that panel was about. Oh, I'm so glad you're showing this picture. So this was another Theater Women Awards back when I was the VP of programming. And Estelle Parsons, who's on the one side, was the host. And Nikki Grant, who's at the other end, who we just lost a couple of weeks ago, was the Lifetime Achievement Award winner. And you are seeing the person who isn't Estelle, Mickey, or Shellen, that's Elsa Rail. And that night she was awarded the League of Professional Theater Women's Special Award for Meritorious Service. And I was the one who presented her with it. So it was a really special night for us all. And I love this picture.
That is a treasure, isn't it? That is a treasure. There's a lot of levity in that photo.
Yes, absolutely.
Lots of levity.
Yeah,
Wow.
and I've worked with all these people on various projects over the years. So yeah, it was great. Oh, so this is Carolyn Menini and Tuck Milligan, 2 phenomenal actor-singers, in a production that I wrote the songs for and directed. The play is Between Pretty Places. The play was by Susan Merson. We call it a play with music because it's not musical in the same sense, but it had a number of songs, both children's songs, and then this is them singing one of the more adult songs. And this is the first project that Matthew Gandolfo and I worked on together as writers, because he did all of the orchestrations and then wrote additional music. He took these little haunting children's songs I made and turned them into these gorgeous pieces of music that underscored various parts of the play. It's a very tragic play about their daughter has committed suicide, and she's left her daughter, who's a little girl, at their doorstep, and it's about them trying to decide whether or not they're going to take the granddaughter in, and also there's the ghost of the daughter is in the play. It's a wild play, and these 2 were just so brilliant in it. And I directed it. We did it first at the Pacific Resident Theater out in Venice, California, and then we brought it into Here Art Center.
That's fantastic. That is beautiful.
Yeah.
I love this. This is, I just happened to see this and we had to show it.
Yes, tell me. Oh, Bitmoji. Don't you all have Bitmoji? So,
there she is.
Yeah, I just loved making myself a Bitmoji. I use it all the time.
Yeah.
I love it. And this one is my absolute favorite. I don't know where you found this.
I have my ways.
You do.
I put my journalist hat on.
It looks like me, doesn't it?
It says absolutely.
I'm even wearing the same sweater. Look at that.
Oh yeah. See? And you didn't know we were going to show that.
Not
And you
at
have that sweater.
all.
Oh
Not at
boy.
all.
I think it's a
You're
little of this
psychic.
going on.
Yeah, you're psychic.
Intuitive.
Intuitive, definitely.
You obviously love what you do. You're so well
Yeah.
spoken, so well versed, but also very, very passionate about it and enthusiastic about it all. And I think the work, the art, has been almost for you, and I'm just deducing this,
Mhm.
to the energy that oftentimes people get, if that's what they choose to do, that they pull from a faith. You're getting that same sort of energy and essence and spark and nuances and look at life and interpretation and all of it through everything that you're doing, all the people you
Absolutely.
meet, all of the creativity, all the artistic expression gets you through the most glorious times, the most anguished of times, the most
Yep.
confusing of times. I'm
Yes,
getting that energy from you, that vibe from you, that
absolutely.
this is like
Lifeblood.
this helps beat your heart.
That's right. This is
Am
my
I correct on
lifeblood.
that? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's in Shellen's DNA, all of this.
And it's what always brings me back. So if there is despair or there is confusion, whether it's writing or music or or dance, which I do much less of these days, but I still do it on my own.
Yeah.
Just dancing. Um, it brings me back into having the faith and the belief that you can keep moving forward.
What you've got all these wonderful things that you're doing, but what are some other things that you look forward to hopefully being a part of, or you're going to be a part of, sort of that Shellen bucket list of things you still would love to do?
Well, what I'm planning to do and what are my bucket list might be two different things.
Yes, right.
So,
It's funny
because
how
I
it
do
works
have
that
some,
way.
yeah, because I do have some other readings and productions coming up this fall, if things stay open and if we can do them. A development of a piece called Green Mist by Anel Carmona that I'm directing. That's about three tiny families in a post-apocalyptic B&B, afraid to go outside. And believe it or not, she wrote this before the pandemic, and how they then interact with each other. So I'm working on that. I'm working on a play with Lainey Robertson, who's such a wonderful writer. He wrote Lady Day at Emerson's Bar and Grill, and he wrote this three-character play, Sister, about Georgia O'Keeffe and how she prevented her sister from having a life in art. It's a pretty profound piece of work, and so we're trying to get production of that. So there's a number of things, but then for me, myself, as I said, my own expression, I'm finishing this play that I love called Wall Posters, which takes place in the 1970s in Manhattan, and is about a brother and a sister coming to terms with his love of Hollywood icon women and what it means, which I won't know what that's about, and his budding feminist sister's hatred of them, clashing against each other. And then the third character, which Catherine Elliott read in one of the readings, is one of his wall posters, comes to life and is the third character in the play. So I'm just finishing work on that one right now.
Anybody that is a dream collaboration, working on projects with?
Well, I'll tell you, I don't necessarily think of it in terms of a dream in the large scale, but the Quality of Respect, which is the play I was telling you about Shalach,
Yeah.
right? The Merchant of Venice, which is, of course, the Merchant of Venice is not Shalach. The Merchant is Antonio. But we did a reading of it a few years ago when I was still working on it with Richard Schiff playing. It was at his home. It was a very informal reading with Richard Schiff playing that part. And he was so amazing in the role because he wasn't playing it as a New York Jew and he wasn't playing it as just another Shakespearean character, which is usually, I find, what you get in productions
Yeah.
of Merchant of Venice. He was playing it as an outsider. And I loved his work in it so much. So my dream is to get a production of that play with him in it.
We are praying for you that happens. If Richard, if
you.
you're listening, here she is.
Yeah.
Bring her up.
I keep in touch with him periodically to see if we can make it happen.
Never say never, right? What would the Shellen of today say to that Shellen?
Oh,
With all you've
well.
learned and all the experiences you've had in life, what would she say to her?
I'm looking at her. It's really interesting looking at her. The systems, you make a decision whether you're going to play along with the systems that are, or you're going to work outside them and do what you love. And
What
if
do you feel you have done?
Worked outside them and did what I love and what I believed in. But if you do that, you have to accept that the systems are not necessarily ever going to be interested in what you're doing.
So
at that time, I still thought there was a path, if I just kept doing what I loved, that eventually everybody would recognize how brilliant I am.
I think all of us, that's how we're trained and taught and raised, and societal, discussions is that's, the way it is and the way it's supposed to be. But then you realize as time goes on and wisdom is gained that not everything that you were told actually was accurate information, or that it actually works for you, or that you fit into, or they fit into, or that even they were following things that they were told that wasn't necessarily exact.
That is so much of what the Monday morning quotes are about. It's like your salt and pepper. It's looking at it and saying, okay, how can we look at this differently, and what can we gain from it if we do?
Right. I like that, the quotes. I do Masters Mantras. I've been doing them for years on Facebook, and we do a video series actually on our YouTube channel as well, visual and verbal sort of inspiration. But every once in a while, usually once a day, I'll come up with a Masters Mantra of some sort that makes you think, makes you ponder, hopefully inspires. Like I threw something out there once when I said, when did we ever start saying no problem as opposed to thank you, or you're welcome, or my pleasure? Because I just, for whatever reason, I just don't, I'm a wordsmith maybe, or I like words. So if somebody's thanking me for something, I don't say no problem. I'll say my pleasure. Because if it wasn't my pleasure to take the time to do that for you and put whatever I have aside to do what I have to do, to help you, to advise you, to inspire you, to hold the door for you at the post office, whatever it is, then why am I doing it? It's just a natural response for me to want to help, to want to inspire and connect. So I just threw it out there maybe 2 years ago on Facebook. I said, when did we ever start saying no problem?
No problem.
And it's all these people of all ages too came out of the work and were like, oh my God, I say that. Oh, gee, I never used to say that, but now I say that. We sort of absorb whatever the hit, the one hit wonder is of the day. Everybody, I've never done that. I've
got one for you like that.
Do you?
I cannot stand even newscasters now say kind of or sort of.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah, instead of making definite statements, they'll go, so it's kind of strange that, what do do you mean it's kind of strange? It's strange.
Or they'll say, that's like saying very unique. You can't be very unique. It's just unique.
I'm
It's
a
just
wordsmith
unique.
too.
Yeah, it's not very unique. It's unique is unique. But some will say, I've actually heard Anderson Cooper say this a lot, and he's terrific. But you know, as telling the story, and I'll often say, no, I don't know. That's why I'm watching, because you're telling me, you're telling me, so I don't know. That's why I'm watching. But here's one you're going to notice a lot more if you haven't already. When you say either a statement or you ask a question and people answer it, they mean yes, but now they're saying, yeah, no.
Ugh.
That's new. That's newer. They go, yeah, no, I agree. Wait a minute. You just canceled it out. You said yes, no, yeah, no. So you agree with it or you don't agree with it, because you just said, yeah, no. Yeah, no, I like vanilla ice cream too. Yeah, no, my favorite color is green.
Oh my
Yeah,
God, that's
no.
crazy.
Yeah, that's, now wait till
The
you hear
only
it.
time, yes,
Yeah,
the
no.
only time yeah, no would be appropriate was if you made a negative statement. I don't like da da da, and then the person said, "Yeah, no, I don't either." Then it might make sense,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
otherwise that makes no sense.
So let's see, where can people, you have your website. Tell us the website.
Yeah, the website is easy if you spell my name right. It's just ShellenLubin.com. The Monday morning quotes are there too. I'm also on I'm on all the platforms. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook.
Did you ever think you would say all that, including Google?
Never. Never. Though I will say this, apart from everything else, because I wasn't doing enough, right, all those years, I was also a children's librarian for 5 years.
Yeah, I mentioned a little bit in the beginning. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so, but I want to tell you something funny about that, because I was part of a program. It was when my financial situation bottomed out, when the kids were young, part of the divorce thing. We won't go into that. But the New York Public Library had a program where they would pay for you to go to graduate school while you were working as a librarian. So I did it, and I went to grad school in the middle of the night because I was going, now I do not go nonstop. Then I was going nonstop, getting the kids off to school, coming home, getting them some dinner, teaching lessons and rehearsing, doing Zisha's homework with her, getting them to bed, and then doing my homework in the middle of the night. It was a crazy time. But when I went to library school, which was all online from Syracuse University, it was just in the crack between everything being the old school and everything being online. And I learned them both. And that was amazing. And my research skills, because of that, including on Google, are legendary among the people who work with me, because I can pretty much find anything if it's out there. So one of my little skills.
Which is fantastic. What would you say to somebody who's watching right now, who's being inspired by this conversation, Shellen, and they want to go into this line of work? They're being inspired by what they're hearing, and they're
Which one?
As far as whether it's singing, songwriter, playwright, acting. I know that's a good question.
Yeah,
you got it. You should know, right?
Yeah, acting is a business where you're selling yourself to an already written script and a director's vision of what that is. So to be an actor, no matter how much you love it and no matter how good you are at it, you have to be willing to put yourself in that place over and over and over again. And if the parts don't exist for what you look like and what you sound like, it may or may not even be possible. So that, of all of them, that is actually the one that I have let go the most. And I only act now when someone asks me to be in something. And someone did just ask me to do a small role in an upcoming film, but it is the one that I do the least. Songwriting and songwriting, you have to have a voice. You have to learn the tools, but if you don't have something you want to say, don't write songs, because there's no reason for a song to exist if you don't have something that you're saying. I don't mean that it has to have deep meaning, but it has to be saying something. Singing, you get good technique. Get good technique, because there are so many people out there who sing improperly and who have bad technique and who abuse their voices because of it. Directing, you have to be willing to use all your tools and all your facilities and all your ability to work with other people and help them through things in the service of somebody else's work. You're in the service of the playwright's play, and of the actors' voices, and you're bringing them together and you're bringing them to life. And so it's really a deeply invested, very masculine qualities, feminine qualities, all needed to be a director. To be a good director. I mean, there are dictatorial directors and there are directors that do nothing, but to be a good director.
Yeah.
Is that any?
Yeah, that is very, yeah. I know a number of people will say, if you are 50-50, if, say, for example, 50% wants to go into these creative fields, the other 50% maybe is thinking about being an accountant, you might want to be the accountant, because you have to be really 100% in when you go into any of these fields. That's what a lot of some of the guests performers have said, that they've really got to, because there's the blood, sweat, and tears, the hours, the time, the resilience, the rejection, all of it that comes in. So you got to be 100% in there.
Yes, if you love doing something else also, go do that. Absolutely. It's a hard life. But let me say something really interesting.
You have the entire show.
Bill Dixon, who was my mentor at Bennington College, he created the Black music department there. He said to me, change what you do every 7 years. And his reason was that it's important to keep shaking things up.
Is it like the 7-year itch thing?
I don't know, but I got to tell you, whether or not I intended to do it, whether or not I intended to follow his advice, I kind of have. But the most important thing for me is that they all feed each other. I feel like the more I do any of them, the others get better too.
It's all connect, like we were saying earlier. There's all, even if it's something different, there's still nuances about it that makes it connected. Have you ever gone beyond the 7 years, a lot longer, and said, maybe I wish I had changed that earlier, or, altered that earlier? I stuck with it too long, whatever it is.
No, I've never felt that. I feel like they have each served me, and I've rebalanced them in every period. I mean, that's why I was able to get through the pandemic after that first kind of month of recovery, because I was able to move into focusing more, like when people didn't want to do voice lessons online, right? So that's when I started writing a book about my vocal method. And then bit by bit, people gave up and they said, I can't stand being without you, and started doing voice lessons online. And so but there are a few people who still haven't come back, who are waiting for everything to be able to be in person again. And it's funny because Ralph just wrote a CD of songs, and I know why he wrote that, because I should have one. But here's where I get frustrated. I'm not willing to do something if I can't do it as well as it should be done.
You're exactly like me.
And I can do it live. I can sit down at the piano and play a song for you. But if I was going to do a CD or a record, whatever one wanted to call it, I would want a great engineer and really good recording equipment, and I'm not willing to do it otherwise. So unfortunately, that hasn't happened.
Are you a perfectionist at all?
I'm not a perfectionist. I'm a realizationist. I think things need to be fully realized. I don't believe in perfection.
I like that. Yeah, I've told people who mention that about perfectionism, because there's a couple of people that are friends of mine. One is a Greek singer, and he's like, I will not do anything unless it's absolutely perfect. He's perfect. Everything is perfect. And I said, well, how about this? Maybe you, instead of using the word perfect or perfection, why don't you say you're striving for excellence?
Exactly.
That way there, I know it gives you still that feeling that you need of striving for perfection, but boy, is it more liberating. Boy, you can breathe through your diaphragm. You can really, it's a load off when you say it's got to be perfect. You're striving for perfection. Change the word out and replace it with the word excellence. It gives us that little high of perfection that you're trying to think about, but it doesn't necessarily limit you or box you in, because that's claustrophobic.
Yes, and it's even more important than that for a performer. They did a study years ago where they took the major interpreters of Bach, and they used Bach because Bach was the most measured composer that there is. He comes as close as possible to something not mechanical, but that you could do perfectly. So they took Wanda Landowska, and they took Rosalind Turek, and they took various other interpreters, and they put them through a computer. This is early days of computers. We're talking about the 1970s, like back when computers filled an entire room. And they fed it through the computer, and what they figured out was so obvious, but they figured it out in this study, is all interpretation is whatever degree it's not perfect, is to whatever degree it is technically wrong. That the computer could play Bach and it would be absolutely perfect, but even with Bach, who would want to listen to it? Interpretation is what art is, at least performing arts, are all about. And so there is no such thing as perfection.
Exactly right. Beautifully said, my friend. Boy, what a great conversation. I feel like we've been doing this over a cup of coffee, and we just happen to have the world watching us, because kindness matters. Yes. Absolutely. This was fantastic. Christine loves it too. And Christine Clifton in North Carolina, strive for excellence. Absolutely. And Ralph says a perfect answer. That's right. Yeah.
Wait a second.
Yeah, it's good. That's it. Slipping in a little of the levity, along with the levity on our show.
Levity.
I really hope that the show met whatever expectations you had, Shellen, and that you enjoyed the time with me as much as I certainly have with you.
Oh, I had a fantastic time talking to you.
You were amazing. Tell us again about the event coming up. And again, if folks are watching this 6 months from now when it's archived, you could probably see it in the archives.
Yeah.
But tell us about where and when.
When Zeta danced on Eldridge Street, Tuesday evening, September 28th at 6 p.m. It will be streaming on YouTube. On Facebook. No. Oh, God. Now I'm being as imperfect as it comes.
We'll pull the line in, rewind, and then cast it again.
We'll be streaming on Zoom.
Yeah.
And then after it's over, we will archive it on YouTube.
Then you'll archive it. Exactly. Exactly. Just like we do. I can't believe it. We've done 483 episodes of the Jim Master Show live since May 2020.
Yeah, you.
And it's not the full-time thing either. It's like something I added on to the list because people were saying, Jim, you're just going to do this during the pandemic because you've really helped us, with the levity and the entertainment and the great conversations. You've helped us through this really rough time with this series, this entertainment lifestyle talk show series that you do. And I said, well, as long as you guys are out there, we will keep doing it. Because I've thought about doing this for years, but being so busy doing the real thing, as we say, I never really had the time. And then back in May of 2020, flipped on the lights and said, let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. And here we are today. It's amazing.
It's all real.
Absolutely. Sherry Larson in Kansas says, thank you for joining us this afternoon. Enjoyed listening. She's in Kansas.
Cool.
Shellen, thanks for coming to the show.
Thank
That's
you for having
Alessandra
me.
in North Carolina. Jen Barry in Allentown, Pennsylvania. Fun show today. Thanks, Shellen. GFX, thumbs up. We got a thumbs up. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. We will keep the porch light on for you, my friend. And there is somebody here that sometimes makes a surprise appearance at the end that just wanted to say to you, Shellen, that you did okay today, kiddo. George Burns is with us.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
That's what everybody says. And it makes everybody smile when I show him. Could you imagine having had the opportunity to work with him? Wow.
Oh, that would have been amazing.
Yeah. He's all decked out with his cigar. So he played God in the movie.
He absolutely did.
So he wishes you well as well, Shellen. Thanks for being
so
with
much.
us, my friend. Hopefully, we will get together in the city at some point, maybe with June and everybody. That would be really
Lovely.
cool. And break some bread and have a knish or two. I like them with mustard. I know.
And onions.
And onions. Believe it or not, I love chopped liver too, but that's not really good for you. It's not good for you. When you grow up in New York or on Long Island, you like everything. You like Jewish food and Italian food and Greek and Mexican. You have all these influences and restaurants and cultures around that I'm somebody that's very easy to go out to eat with, or to say we're going to go to this restaurant, a Thai restaurant, a Mexican restaurant, Vietnamese restaurant, whatever it is, because I'll always find things that I'll try that I'll like. And I think there is a blessing to having grown up in the New York tri-state area where there are all these different art forms. And, for us on Long Island, a class trip for us was going into the city and going to a Broadway show or going to these where people fly across the country to do those things. For us, it was just right there. And having the exposure to all the different cultures and ways of thinking, I think, has been and continues to be a blessing. And I know you growing up on the island, not in the island, you're on the island.
I was, yeah.
In the New York area.
Never go back there again. I hated Valley Stream, but
Valley, yeah. That sounds like a musical too.
Oh yeah. Okay, I'll remember that.
We were further out east.
Yes.
But now, did you find that anybody that's on the island always says anything north of the Bronx is considered going upstate?
Yes.
If you're going to
I was younger.
Yeah, they would say that. If you're going to White Plains, you're going upstate.
Yeah.
And then you tell somebody that's in White Plains that, and they're like, this is not upstate. This is Westchester County. Upstate is Buffalo.
And yes, my younger daughter went to college in Fredonia, and I learned what upstate really is. That's near Buffalo.
That's upstate. The children, any within these fields of endeavor?
Both, actually. My younger one is a stage manager, and she was the one in the promo who was sitting and reading Elsa's book. And she was also the voice of Mama, and she was in one of the pictures from backstage at the Theater Women Awards. And my older one has created a job for herself, which is she is now, and if you don't understand what this means, Google it. She is the editor of a YouTube channel for a Twitch star. So the Twitch star is online like 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. And what Quinn does is puts the edits it down to these half-hour or 1 hour
Shorter little pieces,
and
right?
then posts them on YouTube
Posts
so people
them,
who
yeah.
don't hang on Twitch can find them. So
That's it.
there's a job that didn't exist 2 years ago.
I mean, the only time you thought of Twitch was like, that was a Twitch. You had a Twitch. That's it. Your eye twitched or whatever. Now it's TikTok and Twitch. TikTok
Oh my God.
TikTok thing was the thing that told time when you're in your kitchen on the wall. June says, let's go to Sarge's for Knishes.
Sounds good.
Yes. Blissful Angel watching in England, Great Britain says, Shellen is now a well-loved member of our Lovity family. Welcome, Shellen. Looking forward to your movie.
Thank you so much.
Yes. And Anais is watching from Paris, France, one of our regular Lovities. Hi, everyone. Sending you lots of love. I love that as well. And Alessandra in North Carolina says, did I hear Knish? Oh my God, a good Knish. Yes, that's what you heard. And the Irish part of me will take potatoes however I can get them.
Absolutely. So which do you like better, Jim? The round Knishes or the square Knishes?
You know, that's true. I've had both. The square ones, sometimes, I love both, but the square ones can be a little bit firmer and sometimes drier.
Yes.
And the round ones are much more potatoey and moister.
Yes.
And I know most people are probably familiar with the square ones. You get them from the vendors, or you get them in the stores or whatever. But those round ones.
Those round ones.
Do you like to cook?
I love to cook.
You do? What's your specialties?
You know, I raised 2 kids. Do you know my specialty is leftovers, wok fried into a big, either fried rice or, you know, I'm really good with leftovers.
So potpourri and smorgasbord and yeah, blending things together. Well, you're amazing, and I'm sure we'll be breaking bread at some point.
That would be lovely.
Thanks for hopping on the Jim Masters Show Live, and thanks also for spreading the word. I know you were really letting everybody know and promoting it, and I really appreciate that, because that sincerely helps our show continue to grow and our series continue to thrive. And I hope you'll come back. We'll keep the porch light on for you, and I hope you will continue to spread the word about the Jim Masters Show Live. And I wish you nothing but continued joy and blessings coming your way, Shellen.
Much.
Oh, the pleasure is all mine. The pleasure. No problem.
My pleasure.
My pleasure. Exactly. You know, I told a friend to do that. I said to a friend who works actually at a Trader Joe's, I said, no, go into the store tomorrow and just try this, experiment, just give it a shot. Instead of saying no problem or no worries to the management, to the other staff members, and to the customers, just throw in my pleasure. Try it. If it doesn't work or whatever, then go back to whatever, the no problem or anything else. And went into work, and he started saying my pleasure that day to fellow management and to other staff and to the customers. People started thanking him for saying my pleasure.
Love it.
The customers were like, they're saying thank you for the service rendered or what have you. And my pleasure was being responded, and they were thanking him for saying my pleasure. Wow. Cool, huh? See,
Well,
it's
'cause it
all a
makes
matter
you
of changing the
feel-
words, the
Yes,
wording.
it makes you feel better about
Words.
someone extending themselves for you.
Words matter. Words
Yes,
matter. Words and
words
tone. And
matter.
tone too.
Subtext.
Yes.
Subtext matters
Is big.
too.
And so does double entendre. That's how Match Game existed all those years. The game show was all the double entendre with that series. June loves us. We love you back, June. We love you back, June. All right. Do you know we chatted for almost 2 hours?
Oh my.
That's what everybody says. It doesn't feel like it, right?
Wow.
It's
what
almost-
a fabulous conversation. Thank you.
Oh, the pleasure is mine. I really hope you enjoyed yourself and, you know, that it tickled your fancy a little bit hopping on the show. And again,
Yeah.
you know, we all have expectations, but I don't call these interviews, I call these conversations. Sort of Dick Cavett style a little bit with a modern twist. You're the best, Shellen. Thanks for being with us. Go stretch those legs now, like I tell all the guests. Get the
Yes.
circulation going.
Yes.
Have some dinner. It's almost 5 o'clock Eastern. And we'll connect again real soon, okay?
Excellent. Thank you.
We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Shalom.
Shalom. Shana Tova.
Auf Wiedersehen. Take care, Shellen.
Take care.
An amazing guest, wouldn't you say, folks? Yes, we had lots of fun with Shellen. Oh boy, she was great. A great conversationalist. Wow. Remember I told you guys, if you were with us a couple of nights ago, I love conversations that feel almost like a tennis match, meaning the back and forth, the yin and yang of it all. It's just like there's a flow. There's some sort of a connectedness that just is so automatic. You would have thought that Shellen and I have known each other for 20 years just through the way that conversation happened, almost finishing each other's sentences, filling in the blanks, expanding on what the other one was saying. I think that's awesome. That was really an invigorating conversation. I love all the guests that come on this series, and I love chatting with all of you, our lovely viewers, and hosting the show with all of you and all my work professionally. But when you have great conversations that just sort of happen, there's no pre-prepared questions here. There's no teleprompter. You know, I've worked with teleprompter over the years in television and with various shows, but I love ad lib, and so does Shellen. Great conversationalist, great ad libber, and hopefully it translated through and transferred through this screen that you're watching us on. Some of you are watching us on a big screen. I think somebody said they watch on a 63-inch screen. Some watch on their game consoles. Some of you are watching right now on your cell phones. We're like these little bitty people. Some are watching on PCs, tablets, computers, whatever it is. It's always great when you guys are with us. And Alessandra says, love her. Thanks for the show. She's very passionate about her work. That she is. And again, check her out online. We would love that. And Christine Clifton says, oh my gosh, so many new terms and social medias to learn. I know. Fantastic conversation today. Thanks for sharing all your stories and music today with us. Glad you are a lovety now. That is Shellen. Gang, we're going to be back in about 3 hours with another incredible guest live and direct from Buenos Aires. Yes, I know. Let me just show you quickly before we duck out some of the amazing people that are coming on the show. Tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, live from Argentina, the International Celtic Choir, Alejandro Ignacio Luiso is going to be with us. Lots of amazing music is coming up on the show too. And then tomorrow we have Satomi Hoffman. She's an incredible performer, an actress and singer and so much more. She's with us tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. On Monday, Doug Mermitt is going to be joining us live from Los Angeles, National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences Foundation Chairman and President. He is the chairman and president of the foundation that gives scholarships that are going into the creative arts like television and things of that nature. We've got an amazing conversation with him coming up next week, Monday. On Tuesday, former soap star and actress Robin Griggs Wiley. Now, Robin, you know from many years on One Life to Live, and also she was on Another World. She played Maggie Corey on Another World. She's been on countless TV shows and movies. Now, we're going to be, of course, talking about her illustrious career in soap opera and performance, television, film, and everything else. But the story she's also going to share is she has stage 4 cancer, and she's been documenting her story, and it's very inspiring and it's very moving, and she's going to share that with us coming up live on the Jim Masters Show, live 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. So it's going to be a very moving and inspiring episode. And then you're going to laugh on Wednesday because Donnie Most, who played Ralph Malph on Happy Days, is going to be with us. And not only is he, of course, known for Happy Days and much more, he's an incredible singer. And boy, he can really knock it out of the park. And Donnie Most is going to be with us on Wednesday. Then we have another music legend joining us. Freda Payne is going to be with us, music legend, singer, and actress, coming up on Thursday. That's right. Then on Friday of next week, the 24th, a special birthday episode. Yeah, it's my birthday next Friday, September 24th. And we had a ball last year with the Voices of Classic Soul. We will see what we're going to do on Friday. You'll have to tune in for our special birthday episode. On Saturday of next week, famed New York photographer Jeffrey Hornstein is going to be with us live behind the lens with Jeffrey. Some amazing conversation and lots of great things to show you then. So we look forward to that as well. Again, these are just some of the folks that are coming up on the show. Today, we welcomed singer, songwriter, playwright, director, vocal coach, actor, you name it. Sheldon Lubin joined us live from New York City. And it was a pleasure having her on the show. And it was a pleasure having all of you with us as well. Blissful Angel says from Europe, that was a talented interaction between two unpretentious people. Bravo. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And all the claps, we got a standing ovation from Blissful Angel. I like that. So that was a talent. Shellen just hopped back in her chair so she can see this now. That was a talented interaction between two unpretentious people. That's great, right? Two unpretentious people.
Beautiful. I love it.
How do you? and bravo. I love that. And Christine Clifton says, I really enjoyed the conversation with Shellen. She truly loves what she does, as her passion shows in her work. Keeping it real. Great lineups with our guests. See you all tomorrow. Enjoy tonight's show. Good stuff. I just wanted you to see some of this love.
I love it. Oh my God. I've been loving the chat the whole time. It's been so great.
All the lovities coming in. Yeah.
What a great group of people.
And Anais in France says, this is what makes the show so pleasant to watch and listen, the connection and all the sharing. Thank you very much. Watching there in beautiful Paris. And Alessandra, love her. Thanks for the show. She's very passionate about her work. Yes, she is. Absolutely. And Shellen is passionate about life. And good stuff. Juanita says, great lineup. Can't wait. Once again, that was a little encore. She came back on the Jim Masters Show stage just to
see what you had to say.
That's exactly it. All right, my friend, you take care. And once again, thanks for being with us. It was a blessing. We'll see you again soon, Shellen.
Absolutely. Thanks so much.
Bye-bye now.
Bye.
And thank you, gang, for joining us. We'll be back at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific with the International Celtic Choirs. Alejandro, he's going to be with us. It's going to be amazing. Lots of great music and conversation live from Buenos Aires, Argentina. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, the channel you're watching right now, Jim Masters TV. Click the notification bell so you never miss any of the episodes live, so you can participate live. Or if you're watching this in the archives, you'll know when we have episodes and surprises for you as well. And spread the word, share the lovity, tell everybody about our show and our series called The Jim Masters Show Live. That means so much to us. If you enjoyed this episode as well, give it a thumbs up. And also, leave a comment on the YouTube channel. As much as you've commented during the chat, which we love, leave a comment on our YouTube channel as well. Because when you do that, YouTube sees that, they take that, and then they blast this episode to even more people. So when you give a thumbs up and you leave the comment, it actually helps the Jim Masters Show Live. We also, of course, always thank our friends at LMG, Lampkin Music Group. Time and attention and love and support of the Jim Masters Show Live. Ralph and the team, thank you very much. We appreciate that and getting the word out and all the love for our show. I know they love our show and we love them back. And Anaya says, love you, Jim. Bon appetit. Coming from France. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you very much. And good to see you as well. Again, coming up, we've got an incredible show that's happening live from Argentina. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be amazing. Very excited. They've been blasting this promotion all over South America. The International Celtic Choir with a lot of great music. Alejandro Ignacio Luiso, who is the creator of this. And this choir is a choir of people from around the world who've come together through virtual platforms. That's part of the choir. It's really amazing with a mix of Irish and Scottish music and so much more. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. And as we always say, don't forget to smile. Don't forget to share the lovity. Don't forget to find your Zen place. Mine is with family and friends, of course. And then, of course, my work in television, radio, stage, film, on air, on camera, behind the scenes over the years. Of course, I love tennis and cycling and writing and music and a whole bunch of things. But the ocean speaks to me, as Shellen was saying. I love the ocean, swimming, surfing, boogie boarding, sailing in it, and everything else. All right. We always have a long ending, but a good one, a solid one. All right, gang, we got to scoot off. We're going to go to the coast. We're going to do a run and some cycling. Then we have to eat dinner, and then we're back. If you're with us, join us. If you're not, you can see everything in the archives on Jim Masters TV. Thanks for being with us for this episode of JMS Live. We'll see you on the next one, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You guys are truly the best. We love you all. And thanks for being with us. See you soon. Ciao.